I've been waiting all night.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Now, to be honest, I don't even know how this video is going to go. I've not had any points jotted down or anything like that, so I'm just going to be speaking off of my memory, what I can remember, and maybe any kind of advice I want to give. Now, this video is going to be basically a story time on how I got engaged to my now husband in 10 months. And by 10 months, I mean 10 months after dating, right? Not 10 months after I met him, 10 months after dating. Now, to some people, this might be too soon. 10 months might be, oh wow, that's so soon after dating, 10 months. But to some people, it's long because some people don't like short engagements. Some like 2 months, 3 months, we know what we are doing. Engage me, we'll just marry. But for me, my experience was 10 months, and I'm going to go back in time, okay? I'm going to go back into, what year was this? I'm going to go back into 2014 to begin this gist. I have some really old videos on stuff like this. I think Jessie and I have even done a video in the past about our love story, how we met on NYSC camp and all of that. But this is just going to be like a refresh, okay? To refresh your memories, all right? So going back in time, Jessie and I met in 2010 on NYSC camp. If you are new to this channel, that might be news to you, but we met on NYSC camp here in Abuja in October of 2010, and we were friends for 4 years before we even thought about dating. Why? Because Alma always saw Jessie as that friend. Alma friend zoned Jessie very early on. He was that friend that I would like to hang out with, no strings attached. We'll go and see movies together. We were movie buddies. Like, we had a very nice friendship, a very genuine friendship, and I dated other people while Jessie and I were friends. I'm sure he too had 1 or 2 girlfriends while we were both friends, and it was nothing serious. It was just plain, genuine, platonic friendship. It was also not a friendship that we would see all the time, maybe like once in a month or twice in a month. So it wasn't like we were seeing like every week or like multiple times a week. No, it was that kind of friendship that we would just be like, let's hang out now, that kind of thing, you know, once or twice a month. And that was how it was, to be honest. Fast forward to 2013, I would say Jessie's birthday in 2013. I know he actually invited me for his birthday, and that was the very first time I know that I looked at him with a different kind of eye, because I got to that birthday and the man was looking fine, was looking too fine. I'm just like, when did Jessie become so fine like this? Why is he glowing? I don't forget, he had his birthday in a Chinese restaurant and he was looking super duper fly. Like super duper fly. I said, I this guy. But then I was actually in a relationship with somebody who was based abroad at the time, who I thought I was going to end up with. I've told that story here one too many times at this point, but fast forward to like 2014, my heart got broken, and you know, Jessie was there as a friend with a shoulder to lean on. I don't even recall telling him much about my relationship until things had broken down irretrievably, you know. And one of such times, we're hanging out and I just mentioned to him that, oh, I was seeing this dude, I thought it was going to end in marriage. The guy had even bought a ring, but he could not propose because of this and this and this. And it was, looking back now, my most traumatic emotional experience up till dates. Nobody deserves nobody deserves to go through serious heartbreak, because I went through serious heartbreak. So, you know, the next few weeks after that, Jessie and I used to hang out a lot more. I was working a 9 to 5 at the time, you know, so sometimes they would offer to come and pick me up from work. You know, we're just seeing each other a lot more often than we used to. And of course, you guys know, when two grown adults, man and woman, spend time together, you know that next thing you start catching feelings, okay? So before we knew what was happening, feelings started to fly in the air. But I remember being so cautious, because in my head I'm like, I'm not even fully healed from this other experience. I don't want to jump into something with someone and get served another cold breakfast, you know. But there was just something so genuine and something so likable and lovable and fearless about Jesse and being in his company, you know. So what am I saying? We began to spend more time together, and we knew that, you know, there were sparks flying. Like, we could sense, I mean, come on, we're adults, we could sense that there were sparks flying, and that, you know, it was about to get heated. And I think he was also trying to be careful, because he knew that this girl is quite fragile right now, so I don't want to push, I don't want to be too forward and everything. And again, if anybody had told me, like, see, you people, if anybody had told me back then, like 2010, 2011, 2012, that I'm going to end up with Jesse as my husband, I would laugh from now to tomorrow, because I never saw him that way, okay? Until, like I said, until like 2014-ish, I never saw him that way. For me, he was just that good friend I had. I never saw him as the guy that one day I will marry and become my husband. It was not like that for me for the longest time. So we spent a lot more time together. And you know, it's when you spend time with somebody that you begin to know things you've never known about them before. So I feel like we also got to know things, got to discover things about each other that we never really knew about each other before. You know, we were beginning to connect on a deeper level. And I noticed a lot of traits that, oh my God, I knew that I wanted the man that I was going to spend the rest of my life with to have. You know, how close he was to God. You know, he had a very close relationship with God that I loved and I still love so much. And just a lot of things. He was just so kind and gentle, so humble, so soft spoken. So, like, for me, I'm a yaga girl. I'm everywhere. Like, everybody knows, like, I am the talkative, I am the energy goddess, I am just everywhere. So I know that I didn't want someone who was going to be like me. In fact, rewind to like my previous relationships, the people that I dated were almost kind of similar to him in terms of character, right? Quiet, humble, soft-spoken. Most of them were like that, and that was just my spec, because I am the opposite, right? I didn't like guys that were too flashy. I didn't like guys that were too out there. Guys that once they come out, you know that somebody has landed. I didn't like guys like that at all. I loved, you know, just guys that were just simple, very simple guys. That was my spec. So we began dating. Fast forward to October of 2014, we began dating, and I can't believe I'm still smiling about this. It's been how many years? And Jesse, I'm still smiling talking about your matter. I'm still, but it was end of October, and I think it was on his birthday that I feel it became official, because he more or less like announced me to his friends and family as his special person. Like, nobody had ever done that for me before. You know, it was his birthday, and he more or less like tapped a glass and said, this person right next to me is my person, it's my special person. And looking back now, that was the sweetest thing. I don't think anybody had ever done something so sweet for me, and that was when I knew that this guy is the one. You can't tell me nothing. He was so proud of me. He was so proud to show me off to anybody who cared. You know, he was just proud to call me his own, right? And I knew that, as I'm beginning this thing with this person, as I'm entering this thing with this person, it's going to be for life. I just knew it. I didn't know how soon it was going to be after then, but I just knew that I wanted to do life with this person. And Jesse and I had a beautiful relationship. I mean, we had a very loving relationship, and it was just beautiful and just genuine. And I don't know, there was just something about it that I loved so much. And looking back now, I recall wanting that proposal earlier than it came. To be honest, looking back now, I thought he was going to propose on my birthday of 2015. Legit, I thought he would propose on my birthday. So at the back of my head, I was hoping, wishing, praying that the ring will come on my birthday. Looking back now, and that was like 9 months after we had begun dating, but I don't understand why I wanted that proposal that early. I don't know why. I don't know what it was, but I know that I wanted to get engaged. Like, I wanted to be with this person, and I just thought that he would do the cliche thing and propose to me on my birthday, which was July 10 of 2015. But my birthday came and went. So he was there for me. Like, my birthday was superb. Like, you know, he got me gifts and stuff as a good boyfriend that he was, but there was no ring. I say, hi, this man does not propose to me again. What's all this? I recall that, you know, we even had like a prayer thing in my parents' house. My mom was there. Of course, by that time he had met my parents, because my dad especially took a liking to Jesse very early. I feel like that was another thing that pushed me to knowing that he was the one pretty early, because I never just used to introduce anyone to my dad. As a matter of fact, the only person I ever introduced to my dad as a potential suitor was the person I was dating before Jesse, who broke my heart. That's the only other person that met my dad. Prior to that, I never introduced anyone to my father. So when my dad met Jesse, Valentine's Day, I don't forget, of 2015, and Jesse entered my father's house with a suit and a bow tie on Valentine's Day to take his first daughter out to dinner. Hey, my father was sold. He was sold. He was like, who is this prim and proper gentleman? You know, he was sold. And for me, as far as my dad had no complaints, I was fine, because I cherished my parents' opinion a lot at the time. My mom didn't have any issues. My dad didn't have any issues. They just liked him because he was just so simple, soft-spoken, and humble. He was just a very genuine person, and I feel like there is no parents that will not love a genuine person. So yeah, I think those are all the things that made me realize early on that, look, this is somebody I want to spend the rest of my life with. I didn't care that he was not from my tribe. I didn't care that he was not practicing the same denomination of Christianity that I was practicing. All of those became irrelevancies to me, okay? I was more interested in the person, the human being. I was more interested in that. But then, waiting for the proposal, it didn't come on my birthday like I hoped it would, but it came the following month, August. It came August, I think it was the last day of August though, or August 30th, I'll be 29th. I can't remember the particular date right now, but it was just a very awkward date. It was not a date with much significance and all of that, but that was when the proposal came. I was not even expecting it. It was a surprise. And if you've watched the story, you guys know that. Maybe I'll leave that video linked up here in case you've missed it or you're new here. But it was such a surprise. I was not expecting it. I just figured if he did not propose on my birthday, maybe it would come on his own birthday, October 31st, or maybe it will come in December during Christmas, or maybe it will come the following year, January, for New Year. It came when I completely least expected it, and looking back now, it was 10 months. It was 10 months after, you know, we decided to get together and become a couple. So looking back now, I got engaged in 10 months, and that 10 months, to be honest, it went by so fast. I didn't realize it was only 10 months. It's just recently I looked back, and in my head I'm like, it was only 10 months though, but it was one of the best 10 months of my entire life. And here I am today, married to this superb human being, this amazing man who supports me like in everything I do. The most amazing dad to me, Rose. Like, what more could anyone ask for? So literally, why am I telling this story? I'm telling this story to let you know that it doesn't really matter. Looking back, it doesn't really matter whether you've known the person. For Jesse, I had known him for years prior to when we began to date. So maybe that's why it was different. It was not a case of just meeting him 5 months or 10 months earlier and then getting engaged. I had known him since 2010. I got engaged to him in 2015. So there is a bit of a difference. But then again, there are people, like people always tell you, there are people who will meet today and marry next month and they are married for the rest of their lives. There are people who would have known each other for like 10 years, get engaged, get married, and break up the following year. So there's no formula to these things. I think just recognizing early enough if this person that you're with is someone that you want to actually spend the rest of your life with. There'll be certain things. I'm not talking about things like, he must be rich, he must be, those are like the additions. Marrying a rich guy, all those things are additions. But the core things, the core values, I feel like you'd have to recognize early enough to know exactly what you want. And looking back now, I feel like there would have been no one else. Like, see, when you are with your person, looking back, there's just no one else no one else that I had known. No, maybe, I don't know if I had met another person in the future. I don't know if Jesse and I did not end up together. Maybe it would have been someone else. But I'm just saying, looking back now, with all the people that I had met and known, it couldn't have been any of them. Does that make any sense? Yes, that makes sense. Anyway, that's that. That's just a little itty bitty story time of how I got engaged in 10 months to my now husband. We have been married for more than 7 years, going on 8 years now. And yeah, that's basically it, guys. I don't know how and why I sat down to do this video, but it just might inspire someone out there. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this one. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed watching. Subscribe, thumbs up, and share this video. And also let me know what else you want me to come here and talk about. And Alma will do just that, okay? I will see you guys in my next video. Mwah. Bye.